and I'm gonna get a lot of too. But honestly, there can be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense.
In a sport where pound-for-pound debates never seem to end, every fan, analyst, and fighter has their own opinion on who truly deserves the #1 spot. The discussion is constantly evolving as champions rise, careers develop, and unforgettable performances reshape the landscape of boxing. Now, David Benavidez has added his voice to the conversation, sharing high praise for Terence Crawford and what he accomplished against Canelo Alvarez. According to Benavidez, Crawford's performance was far more significant than simply adding another victory to his record. By moving up 2 weight classes to face an undisputed champion and delivering such an impressive showing, Crawford demonstrated a rare level of skill, confidence, and adaptability. Benavidez believes the victory changed the way many people view greatness in boxing, proving that elite talent can overcome size disadvantages when paired with the right preparation and ability. In his view, Crawford didn't just win a fight that night. He strengthened his legacy, silenced doubters, and reinforced his place among the very best fighters of his generation.
On the Mount Rushmore of boxers?
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great.
Yeah.
But
As an undefeated champion who has captured world titles and competed at the highest level, David Benavidez understands exactly what it takes to succeed in elite boxing. But when he spoke about Terence Crawford, his comments went far beyond ordinary respect. In a sport often driven by rivalries, competition, and bold self-belief, Benavidez offered praise that stood out from the usual conversation. Rather than simply acknowledging Crawford's accomplishments, he spoke about him with genuine admiration, suggesting that his achievements belong in a different category altogether. According to Benavidez, Crawford's success has earned him a place among boxing's all-time greats. He believes Crawford has accomplished something that most fighters spend their entire careers pursuing but never reach. By consistently proving himself across multiple divisions and delivering elite performances on the biggest stages, Crawford has built a legacy that extends beyond championships and records. In Benavidez's view, Crawford has secured his place among the legends who helped shape boxing history and established himself as one of the defining fighters of his era.
He did something that I didn't think he was going to do. You know what I mean? He went and he beat Canelo. You know, that's 3 weight classes going up. You know what I mean? And he made it look pretty easy.
And when words like that come from one of his biggest rivals, they carry even more weight. David Benavidez made it clear that he witnessed firsthand what Terence Crawford accomplished by moving up in weight and continuing to win titles against elite competition, giving him full respect for that achievement. But what impressed Benavidez most was not Crawford's speed, movement, or ability to switch stances. Instead, he pointed to something deeper: his heart, mentality, and toughness. According to Benavidez, those qualities are what truly separate Crawford from the rest of the sport. Even when a fight appeared to be swinging in his favor, Crawford never seemed interested in simply protecting a lead or playing it safe. Instead, he continued to stand his ground and exchange with bigger, stronger opponents, showing a willingness to take risks and prove himself under pressure. In Benavidez's view, the combination of skill, confidence, and fearlessness is what elevates Crawford beyond most champions and places him among the rare fighters capable of creating a lasting legacy in boxing.
Crawford's ability to stay focused in the fight, and not only just to stay focused in box, but he also got rugged in there. You know what I mean? He started balling with the boys in some late rounds. You know what I mean? That's something I appreciate a fighter. You know what I mean? He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there and he tried to brawl with him in the last round. So, that's really what impressed me. His heart.
Terence Crawford didn't step into the ring simply looking for a victory. He entered with the mindset of taking complete control and leaving no doubt about the outcome. Competing with intensity and a relentless drive, Crawford approached every round with the goal of dominating rather than merely winning. Every punch, movement, and adjustment reflected a fighter determined to stay in command from start to finish. His objective was clear: remove all uncertainty, make a powerful statement, and showcase a level of dominance that would leave no room for debate about his place among boxing's elite.
I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said like he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25.
I mean, no, Crawford is good. Crawford is good. And
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And, you know, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So you know, Crawford, when he has, with the person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time, you know.
In David Benavidez's eyes, that is where Terence Crawford gains his biggest advantage. According to Benavidez, it is not just Crawford's world-class skill set that makes him so difficult to beat, but the ruthless mentality behind everything he does inside the ring. Every punch, adjustment, and decision is driven by a relentless desire to dominate and impose his will on his opponent. Benavidez believes that mindset separates Crawford from many other elite fighters and is one of the key reasons for his success at the highest level. He also suggests that this fearless intensity is something Canelo Alvarez no longer possesses to the same degree. In Benavidez's view, that difference in mentality is what creates the gap between a great fighter and a truly special champion. It is the willingness to push limits, embrace risk, and constantly seek dominance that defines Crawford and places him in a category few fighters ever reach.
Too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. Yeah. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather's the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. But that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that, and not only to go do that to show the world that he's.
The praise David Benavidez gave Terence Crawford carried a sharp edge underneath it, as it quickly turned into direct criticism of Canelo Alvarez. After placing Crawford among the greatest fighters in boxing history, Benavidez shifted focus toward Canelo and delivered a brutally honest breakdown of what he believes went wrong in that fight. In his view, the outcome was not just about technical ability or physical condition, but more about mentality, preparation, and ego, which he feels played a major role in how one-sided the fight became. He suggested that Canelo underestimated his opponent, entering the fight with too much confidence in his reputation rather than matching it with the same level of urgency inside the ring. Benavidez further explained that Canelo's approach reflected a lack of aggression and intensity, pointing to his low punch output, slow forward movement, and reliance on walking opponents down as if experience alone would be enough to secure victory. According to him, Canelo appeared to believe he could simply absorb pressure, land a single decisive shot, and control the fight through presence rather than sustained effort. This, in Benavidez's opinion, turned the bout into more of a lesson than a competitive war, highlighting how small lapses in focus at the elite level can completely change the outcome.
I kind of felt like that could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my.
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen, and that's why it didn't happen. Because
David Benavidez made it absolutely clear that in boxing, that level of arrogance can take everything away from you in an instant. He added that every fighter should remember this lesson because it can define the difference between dominance and downfall at the highest level. According to Benavidez, the same ego that once helped build Canelo Alvarez into a global superstar eventually became the very reason for his downfall in that particular fight.
Crawford took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, you know, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. Just throwing 10 punches around. Or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is don't let your ego get the best out of you. Don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah.
With Canelo Alvarez no longer sitting at the top, attention quickly shifted toward what many saw as the ultimate showdown between Terence Crawford and David Benavidez. Crawford, the unstoppable force, against Benavidez, the feared pressure fighter, felt like the perfect clash for a changing of the guard at 168 pounds, with fans immediately pushing for the fight to happen. However, when Benavidez was finally asked about the matchup, his response shocked the boxing world. Instead of entertaining the idea, he shut it down completely, making it clear he has no interest in facing Crawford. What surprised fans even more was his reasoning, as he openly stated that he is done with the super middleweight division, signaling a full move away from 168 and removing any realistic chance of a fight with Crawford, even for a massive payday, effectively putting the dream matchup completely out of reach.
See it? Is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro. Honestly, I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. I said cruiserweight. Yeah. I want to take this opportunity to, congratulate Crawford. He put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, let Crawford do his thing, bro. At the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. I found the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo. And I'm just being real with you, and let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him, I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, and Crawford, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, but Crawford's a man at 168.
In a blunt and almost indifferent reply, David Benavidez dismissed what many believed could have been the biggest clash in boxing, choosing not to entertain the idea any further as he simply said, "Let Terence Crawford live, that's his division." With that one line, he stepped away not only from the potential fight but from the entire weight class discussion itself, shutting down fan expectations and walking away from the matchup everyone was demanding. Meanwhile, Crawford remained at the center of attention, widely seen as the undisputed figure at the top of the division.
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good, but Canelo is, great. We just gotta see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Google was landing a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we gotta watch the fight. It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head to head.
Is Canelo the only 68 you fight, or would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo.
But what really explains that decision? Why step away from a division packed with massive fights and career-changing paydays just when he was sitting at the front of the line? This is where the story becomes more complex, because David Benavidez carries a controversial and complicated history at 168 pounds. He became a two-time champion but also lost his titles twice outside the ring, once after being stripped following a positive test for cocaine, and again after regaining the belt only to lose it on the scale by failing to make weight. These setbacks turned super middleweight into a difficult chapter for him, filled with consequences, struggles, and missed opportunities, especially with the extreme weight cuts taking a clear toll over time. That history is why Benavidez is now fully focused on moving forward rather than looking back. He has shifted his ambitions toward the 175-pound division, where new challenges await against elite names like Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and even potential clashes with Gilberto Ramirez. For him, it's about a fresh start and bigger goals, possibly even stretching toward cruiserweight in the future. With that mindset, the Mexican monster continues moving forward without looking back, chasing new legacy-defining fights at a higher level.
Talks fighting Gilberto Ramirez for his belts at cruiserweight, so we're already in talks to that, and then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. If it was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight's going to be, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight. I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight.
Beating. I love it. That is cheap.
That's a heel turn.
That is heel.
That's a heel turn. I love it. You now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Roy at his peak. Just remember this. If Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. I agree. Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list. I agree. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao, the second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters.
You
And more than that, put Floyd at his best with anyone through history.
That leaves the entire boxing world with one burning question hanging in the air. Did Canelo Alvarez's massive ego ultimately cost him not only his titles but also a dream super fight? Or is it actually David Benavidez who is choosing to steer clear of the very fighter he just ranked among the greatest of all time? And with that, today's story comes to an end. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what you think. Stay connected, and we'll catch you in the next one.